All right, welcome back to Sports Weekly. On today's What If segment, we look at what if the Ultimate Fighter show never aired. For those of you that may not know or don't remember, back in the early 2000s, the UFC and mixed martial arts in general was in a bit of a niche environment. It had come on the scene with a bang, with those no-hold-barred one-night tournaments that you watched on VCR tapes that you got from your friend of a friend or on your buddy's illegal black box while their parents weren't home. But then it kind of faded away and it was in a weird place. Some people watched, but only the real hardcore fans. The UFC brass at the time were spending millions and millions to keep their promotion alive, but they needed something to bring it into the mainstream and to reignite the hype. What then happened is history. The UFC signed a deal with Spike TV and put on the reality show The Ultimate Fighter. In 2005, the first season aired and captured the hearts of millions around the world for the first time ever, showing the general public who these fighters were outside of the cage, which was half what we thought and half not, and let us really get personally invested in both them and their success. It made watching fights totally different. These were real people now. We knew their family, their struggles, their story. And the key was that these fights, for the first time ever, were on free TV. Fast forward to April 9th, 2005, the live finale plays out with Forrest Griffin versus Stephan Bonnar, two regular guys with regular lives up until that point. I remember watching it in my living room and being just amazed at the back and forth war that was witnessing. It was everything that you could have wanted. I remember people calling me calling people, my corded home phone never leaving my hand. More people were watching live on Spike than people had been watching the last several pay-per-views. And it became a Hall of Fame classic and led the UFC and mixed martial arts around the world to unimaginable fame and fortune. Before The Ultimate Fighter, the UFC had been purchased for $2 million, but a decade later was $40 million in debt as the owners tried desperately to keep it afloat. Thanks to TUF, in 2016, they sold the company for over $4 billion. Dana White is quoted as saying that the fight was the future of the entire sport. So, what if the Ultimate Fighter reality show never happened? I'd say that MMA doesn't exist at all as it does today. Martial arts gyms all over the world don't exist. Children, men and women, learning self-defense, gaining confidence, and learning to become better people does not exist. Great young fighters like Filipino Ricky Turcios, who was on our Fight Insight podcast after winning season 29 of the show, he doesn't get his chance to live out his dream as a professional fighter and inspire young children around the world. Our podcast doesn't happen, and the show that you're watching right now, Sports Weekly, here on Filipino TV, it doesn't air as it is right now either. All of it, everything, is thanks to the UFC putting together a tiny little reality show in 2005. It's so crazy to think that way. All right, that's the end of Sports Weekly for today. Please be sure to tune in next week. And if you'd like, be sure to check out myfilipinotv.com and the Fight Insight podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your pods. Stay safe, train hard, and have a good night.